Hey everybody, this is Crazy Mr. Moose, and welcome to Dungeon Defenders. This is a game from my childhood. I played so many hours of this game. I used to play this game and get my characters to level 70, I think was the max at the time. Now it's up to 100. So the first things first, this is uh, it's a tower defense role-playing game, I guess is how I would explain this. So the first thing is that you get the maps, and um, there's a whole bunch of different difficulties and settings that you can change. I'm gonna go into the Foundries and Forges mission over here on the left. I'm gonna set it to medium difficulty just because that's easiest. But it goes up to Nightmare. It increases how many enemies are spawned and how powerful the enemies are. Um, Hardcore mode, I haven't delved into any of these other options other than survival mode, which sets it up and changes the game to uh, just go on forever until you die and lose. Um, we're not going to do that today. We're going to try and make this a shorter section. Alright, and we load in. So holding the shift key will open up your map. These chests drop these little green crystals, which are mana, which is the energy that's used to create and summon towers and use abilities in this game. I'm going to run through and I'm going to collect all of the mana that I can here. And then we're going to set up some of these towers. A few things that I want to go over is that these weapons are dynamic, meaning that they have different looks depending on what they do. So like in this case, you can see that kind of green fog or like green flames around my weapon. That's because my weapon does extra poison damage. So it's kind of just like a small little tidbit addition. So right now I'm placing these traps for the monk. Each class in the game has its own set of towers that you can summon. In this case, the monk summons these auras, which basically is just an area of effect kind of zone that really just does its own thing in its own area. The thing about these is that they are set to do their power on a time limit. So it has 454 seconds of activation, which is at the top. It just says Electric Aura 454 out of 454. Which will bring me to my next quick point, is there is an upgrade and armor setup for this character. I've brought it up a couple of times, but now I'll talk about it. So the first thing here you'll see is this kind of bar is your character's level bar, and that shows you how much experience your character needs to get to the next level, which I need about 2,000 experience to hit level 16. The top left here is my maximum and current health, and the right is my maximum and current mana. The next thing here is your hero upgrades. You can upgrade your hero's health, damage, speed, and casting rate. Casting rate has to do with how fast your character will repair and or place upgrades. Your character has two abilities. Which I only have one of them unlocked currently, which is the Tower Boost, which increases the abilities of the towers nearby. The next couple of things are defenses, which are unique to each class because each class has unique turrets that are placed, or defenses that are placed. So in this case, the left side is the Aura Lifespan, which increases how long it can stay active. The affects strength, radius, and affects speed. The last thing is all based on armor that you get, which is resistances, meaning you can take less damage from the enemies based on those. And the next thing is, like I said, there's armors and weapons, and they all give like different bonuses and equipment upgrades. So the idea is that you want to try and maximize the armor types that you have. Another thing to note is if you do have a full set of matching armor, so like in this case, if I had all leather armor, my character would be getting a bonus, and it would increase every kind of stat bonus that you get from the armor of each piece by 1. So in this case, it would increase my poison, shock, and physical resistances by 1 more than it already does. So let's see, I'm going to place the last turret that I can this round before I need to get more mana. In which case, I'm this starting crystal. I'm going to hit start. So this is the crystal that I'm defending. The red spots on the map are the spawn points for the enemies, and they just try and rush to the middle to try and kill your crystal. That is the point of the game. The point of the game is to defend the crystal and make sure these enemies don't get to it. Now I have 2 paths that are completely closed off. So we're going to run up here and we're going to kill these enemies. Run through quickly here. I do also have a pet that is dealing damage on his own as well. These enemies do potentially have an element tied to their tied to themselves. When they do have that element tied to them, they're immune to any turrets or towers or defenses that you could place that deal that type of damage. So like in this case, this guy's immune to electric, which means that if he immune to poison. If he walks into this slow trap, it will not affect him and he'll move at normal speed. Here, gotta kill these quick. Okay, so there's the wave done. I'm going to place the next turret that I can here. And the idea is that you want to place the turrets to defend all areas of the map that are like kind of major points, like most tower defense games. So we're going to place everything that I can. There is also an upgrade mechanic to the game. So you can, for 100 mana, you can upgrade the defense, increase its overall power and ability and skills. I'm actually going to go in here and I'll switch to the Mage here. So as I said, each character has their own set of defenses and abilities. So the monk has, with each attack, he has 2 options. He can either shoot or he can swing his sword and deal damage. Whereas the wizard has 2. He can either charge that up or shoot, or he can charge his right click up or just use it. And basically it does an area of effect that deals damage and pushes all nearby enemies away. What I'm going to do is we're going to place, let's place it right there. And that'll defend that spot. The reason I'm doing this is, or placing these here, is because the only offensive trap that I do have for this character currently or for this section of the map is electric damage. So any electric enemies that walk through them will not be taking any damage and will just overall just walk through, which I could defend myself, or I can place another trap that will defend it for me. Down here. A lot of this is similar to waiting around, but when it gets difficult fast. Alright, so I should have enough mana. One of the big things about this is that any action that you do in the round will take a significantly longer time to do. So, such as repairing or placing towers, it takes forever to place a tower, compared to in between rounds versus in the round. All right. Survived one more wave. In the top right corner, you can see it tells you which wave we're on, and as of right now, we are on wave 4 out of 6. So I'm going to go through and I'm just going to repair all of these monk traps because they lose duration as they're active. Okay, so we should be good. Now what I'm going to be doing is working on upgrading everything up to level 2. I'm just going to upgrade one from every section. And because I don't have enough to upgrade any more towers, I am going to just repair these. And now in the top right hand corner, you'll see there is a tower that's blinking. That means that it needs to be repaired or can be repaired. The more red it gets, the more damage the tower is, and the more urgent the repair needs to be. So my towers actually should be all set up to not have me upgrade anything, or I won't actually have to intervene and kill anything, but I'm gonna kill these anyways just to speed this along. Fortunately, my weapon deals electric damage. Okay. Let's grab all this mana over here. We'll take a second and we'll upgrade this. Here. Alright, there we go. One more round down, and we're going to continue in onto the next one. Alright, so I've leveled up here, and now I have 3 points that I can spend. Increase my damage, and we'll increase the tower defense. upgrade or attack speed. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute and I'm actually gonna speed through this for you guys so you don't have to watch me run around, collect the mana, and upgrade everything. We'll just get into the next wave, kill everything that we can, and move on. Okay, looks like everything's repaired up. Another thing to note, your character hero can die if you let him take enough damage, which means that you have a duration that you are dead and inactive. Which you then have to rely on the towers themselves, which is why it's pretty important to let your towers be set up in a way that you don't have to defend. Run on over to this side and upgrade. Looks like I have 2 more upgrades on this side. Ouch. I walked into that one. Okay, so this should be the last upgrade to level 1 of all of the towers that I have. Alright, and we have reached the final wave. Upon reaching the end of the end of a wave, your character and the core will actually be healed. So if you do end up, you know, just barely skating by and having your base tower getting hit down to, you know, no health, you can still continue on to the next wave and just plan on trying to save up the mana. Now I have everything upgraded to the point where I want, and I have all the towers and defenses that I want to place, so I'm actually going to be depositing the mana that I get into my bank, which leads me to one of the last points that I'll be having, which is that there is a shopkeeper that you can buy weapons, armor, and equipment from. But we'll go over that when we do actually reach that spot, once we finish this up. Everything is upgraded. Grit. I'm gonna skip it. It's not worth the time. Okay. And we are on the last wave, so we're gonna run through and Alright, so at this point I'm just waiting for these waves to dim down. At the top of the screen you'll see that action bar. It is currently stating how many enemies are left before the end of the game. Alright, and the boss has arrived. Ouch. Taking lots of damage here. Pair this tower up and let it upgrade. Alright, and the wave is done. We have vanquished the boss. Then you run around and all the mana you pick up is added to your bank mana value. Go. Now I'm picking up all of this equipment because it's pretty much all garbage to me. You can see over there there's a little green arrow that states that there is a piece of armor that's better than what I currently have, and it's really not. I mean, I guess I'll put it on. It increases my movement speed, which is kind of a benefit, I guess. So we're gonna run over and grab the final set of equipment over here that's on the floor. The reason why I'm picking this up, even though it's garbage, is you can actually sell it in your inventory system and make mana off of them. It's not an amazing amount, but it's better than nothing. Alright, we're gonna return to the tavern. Okay, and here is the tavern. Now this is the shopkeep. You can buy some other stuff from him. You can buy pets, weapons, or armors, depending on what you have, or what you're interested in. You can also buy some other things over here. Alright, and that's that. Let's quick look at the shop. Now here is the item box. So as you can see, there's a lot of items in here that are not worth having. They're a lot worse than what I currently have. So what you can do is you can hit sell all, and you hit yes, and all the items that I have that are not locked are going to be sold. So if you just click and drag over to the lock item, it'll lock it, and that'll never be sold unless you unlock it. So there we go.
Always give it a fair price.
And then as you can see here, there's a couple of items that are potentially better. Give that to my hero. Alright, and that's that. So this was just a quick look at the Dungeon Defenders game. I definitely encourage you to get it if you are truly interested. I know it's just on sale on Steam right now, so it's really cheap. I think it's like $5 maybe. I think the all-inclusive that includes every DLC package that you can get is like $12, so it's relatively cheap for a pretty fleshed out game. So yeah, again, I want to thank everyone for joining me. That's actually where I'm going to leave it. I hope you'll try it out, and maybe I might end up doing this in a stream sometime, just because it's a mindless game that I can hang out and chill with. So yeah, that's it. Again, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.